Hey guys, everything new on the sun here. I'm going to look at the Nintendo Switch, and I've got a bunch of ideas. I'm going to postulate, I'm going to put some theories out there. I'm going to talk about some of the features that I think are there, but they haven't told us yet. And there have been various rumors about this and that, about what is in the Switch itself. But let me turn that down a little bit. A lot of the videos that I've seen from Game Explorer, Game Explainer, whatever, and Boogie and some of these other guys, they don't quite they don't hit on the points that I think are there, and so I want to talk about a few of the ideas that I had there. So of course, as you can see, I've got the video up here. I'm just going to skim through it and look at a whole bunch of different things that I think are going on here. So obviously we've got the guy in his house playing. That's all well and good. He's got the Joy-Con, and so I want to take a look at first this right here. This is the first thing I see here. And if you look at the, let me go back there, and you'll just have to, let's see, right there. If I can stay there, look at these ports here. They look similar. They almost look like HDMI ports to me. Could there be two HDMI ports right on the side of it? They don't look like SD slots. They don't look like network jacks. I suppose they could be USB ports, but the little tabs on the side almost look like the shape of HDMI input. I've not heard anybody else talk about those, so I don't know. I don't know if there's truth in that or not. My other comment is about the dock specifically, and so it's stored in a vertical situation, and I have some ideas about that. I assume the dock probably has a power brick in it, and there's power stations. There's maybe extra cooling, maybe there's a fan back there. One thing you notice is that the Switch is oriented, flat with the TV. So you've got the TV here, and you've got the dock right here. It's not on its side at the TV to hide it away. It's always front facing, which is interesting. And you don't see anything on the front of it, and we don't see any cables. I'm not seeing any cables, at least, come from the back of it. I will make. I made some notes there. Yeah. So the dock itself probably has some cooling, some extra power in it, and maybe some other features. So you see the green power on icon there. And basically, I think the dock provides a boost of power, at least keeps the battery topped up so it can go full boost, and maximize graphics, and so that you get a better frame rate and maybe better, maybe different levels of graphics, like in video games like Quake or Doom or whatever. You can set your quality of image, your frame rate, your resolution. You can set these things so that you can dial it down if you have a PC that can't handle it, but you can dial it back up if you have a really awesome graphics card. So that's probably what it's doing here. And it is using a Tegra processor, so it can probably be tuned to how much power consumption you want it to utilize. So if you go full graphics, high res, everything, then you can maximize the CPU and give it a lot more power, and that allows it to look a little bit better on the big screen. Maybe it plays in, maybe it pushes out 1080p on the screen, whereas if you take it out of the dock, it becomes 720. So a couple thoughts on that. My other thoughts about the console itself, the dock being basically flat with a TV. Let me see if I can get another shot here. If I scroll through it, let's see. I think there was a picture of, yeah, here is, let me go back to that. Where's the lady here? Here is a lady on her Joy-Con, and you can see, click there, you can see the unit again is flat with the TV, and there's almost a red tinge on the top of the video game. So what does that come from? Is that a reflection from the window? Well, I sort of wonder if the screen, a little bit of the screen pops out. If I go back here to this guy where he goes and plops it down, They're basically the top edge of the switch, which which has to be there for him to pull the unit out of the dock with. Obviously, I can't find a clear image. Anyways, let me go back to this one here. And so there's a clear portion above the dock where you can use your fingers to pick it up. But there's also a bit of screen showing in it, and that's what I think is showing. I wonder if this is not an IR bar. So the motion control bar that you used to set on top of your TV, maybe that's built in right into the screen. It's just the IR bar is simply LEDs that shine back to the controller to give you some sense of motion, and they can figure out where they are with the LEDs, and that's all they are. There's no electronics in there. They're just infrared LEDs. So what they could do in the face of this thing, if I go back to where he's playing, and I think there's a better image of this as well. In this black bar here, they could have IR lights that light up when it's in the dock, so that you can then use the controllers. And the controllers, the Joy-Con left and right, the left and right units. Let's see if I can, yeah, that's, oops, go back to that one here. So the left and right units, I think it has been rumored at least that there's rumble in there. So if there's rumble, they could surely miniaturize the technology for the Wiimote and put it in there. Now you would need some sort of a screen or like the black part on the front of the Wiimote that could see, a light sensor, effectively, whatever it is they use in there, that could see the IR on the dock. And maybe that is actually what the Joy-Con has. So at the end of the Joy-Con controller, is there actually a little indicator like that? So this whole controller becomes a Wiimote, effectively, and you could use it like that. Or maybe the interface, maybe the window, the light sensor is in the end of the Joy-Con units. And that could be as well. It's pure speculation, but I suggest that they would have to have motion control there some way. Here's a good image of the Joy-Con, I guess Joy-Con right. They would very likely need to be motion control because they need to be compatible with a lot of the older games. They can't just throw the older games out the window. They surely want to capitalize on them, allow them for re-download on a virtual console of sorts, and have some backwards compatibility with motion control. Now, we've not been told anything about this other than the straight up thing. This is a game system. This is like a Sega Game Gear, and you can play games on it. That's effectively all we know, apart from the fact that you can take the controllers off and do two-player. So I think there is motion control in this unit, and that unit is about half the size of the Wiimote. If I can go there. If the Wiimote is about this long, goes to here, then yeah, they could miniaturize, shrink down that technology, especially if you have a little lithium ion instead of two double A's in there. So anyways, yeah, I had to cut there. So if you consider the battery bay of the Wiimote being two AA batteries, you could cut the AA batteries off here and put a nice slim lithium ion rechargeable in there, which would be much tinier. You could have it under the D-pad there, and then there could be an IR light sensor in there somewhere. Now the next thing, so I imagine they're going to do that. I would put a little bit of money, anyways, on it that they would do that. Now the other option here, the other thing I think is likely, is that there's going to be cameras on these things. So let me get a picture of the Wiimote screen itself here. Let's see. Let's go right here. Where? This one. Now, if you look at the black screen here, like this is just like a tablet, right? But if you notice on, say, your iMac or whatever, the camera is actually hidden behind the glass. I'm looking at my iMac screen here, and the iMac border is all black, and the camera is actually behind the black glass, so you can almost hardly see it. I'm betting that there is a camera in here that we can't see due to the angles, or maybe they digitally scrubbed it out. But again, I would find it hard to believe that with games like Pokemon and other uses that they wouldn't put a camera in there, and they told us nothing about cameras. So surely this would have a camera on it. You know, pretty much any tablet does these days. I'm betting it's there. I'm betting they have a back camera as well. And on the plane, right here, let me go a little bit farther here. This right here, so where you can see the 3.5mm jack, the back of it almost looks like this is blurred out. And that wouldn't be normal for the back of a controller, or of any unit. There would be copyright words. There would be maybe a battery access door here. There would be screw holes. This, to me, looks like it's actually blurred out. If you look at the line here, I think they've digitally blurred out the back, so you can't really see a whole lot going on. And if we go, let's see, where's a picture of the kickstand here? If you see the kickstand here, you can see a bit more. You can see the words at the bottom there. Now, you still can't see a camera, but there could be a camera blurred out right here. This whole section could be digitally blurred out, and that would be easy to do these days. So could that be in there? It most likely could. Could this here, this may be a shoulder button, but could that, this also a shoulder button. So are these both shoulder buttons? Are these both buttons of some sort? And if not, there could be you know, a screen for that light sensor that I was speaking of. So they've got the kickstand there, and so I suspect there's going to be a front and rear camera. So you've got your vents up here for the cooling. That cooling will likely be used mostly when it's in its dock, when it goes overclocks the CPU, you know, goes to highest res, whatever. You've got the cartridge slot here, and we haven't seen too much of what's over on top here. But again, I think it's something we just don't have. Let me find the location where it's the 3.5mm jack. So again, here you see blurry images of kind of the top. We haven't got kind of high-res images of all the sides of this thing, so we don't know what's there. And even if we did have high-res images, they could have probably digitally blurred it out again. This background image is very interesting to me. It doesn't seem like it would be glare from the TV. I think they're actually trying to hide something there. One comment I did have about the controller, and this is just a random you know, style comment, is that the controller, the Joy-Con unit, is very square. I don't know if I have if there's a picture of it in here, but I found it was very square. But I have another comment on that, so let me find that one. You see the Joy-Con controller, and we know the image, and we know the pictures of it. There's 4 LEDs down the side. Now, people say they're for player 1, player 2, but that doesn't make any sense. How would the Joy-Con unit show player 2? Because player 2 doesn't hold the Joy-Con unit. They just hold Joy-Con left or Joy-Con right. They don't hold that center unit, which is the controller. So it doesn't make sense to me that there's 4 LEDs there. They could be maybe battery length indicators. So if there's, you know, there's a battery check button, and if the battery's full, it'll show full 4 green lights on either side, because each Joy-Con controller, left and right, need their own battery. So that could be a battery indicator. Or there could be more to it. It seems like a lot of work to put LEDs in the Joy-Con controller and not have the LEDs directly on the Joy-Con left and Joy-Con right itself to show the battery status. So does this have a battery inside it to charge the Joy-Con controllers? Do you plug it in? Can you play it with wired? There's a lot of questions about this, and also does it have the light sensor on the side? So I kind of wonder about that, and it doesn't really make sense to me what's going on there with that. There's a lot of functionality I think that they're hiding. Let me go back to the image here where she is holding the controller there. There's a better image of it. So you see the 4 lights. But again, you can't see a lot. A lot of it's blurred out. You got some bokeh happening there with the close focus, the depth of field happening there. And so who knows what it is, but it doesn't make sense to me that that's a player indicator, because you'll only have one player ever playing with this Joy-Con controller, unless you can get multiple of these Joy-Con controllers. But that doesn't even make sense, because you wouldn't have Joy-Con left and right. So that doesn't make sense to me anyways. The other thing I thought about is this is very square, this whole unit. If you see the image from the front of it, it's just a very square thing. So I didn't quite get that either. So those are the things I spotted in the video. There's probably a lot more, and again, these are things that I haven't heard from other videos. I don't know that you can get a lot of secrets from these screens here. They're just using the kickstand. They're using all the stuff we've seen before. They're using the Pro Controller. Here you see maybe some ideas of what what more items are along the top. So along the top is the SD card, but what's over on the side? Seems like there's a button there. Is there maybe a stylus? Maybe a stylus stuck in there. And the lighting, of course, we don't get to see what mechanism is in here, nor do we get a proper view of the back of it, not a high-res view that I've seen anyways. There was a good view there. Let's see if I'll see if I can find that. So here's another look at the back of the screen, just for interest's sake. Again, you can't see a lot, but you notice the text down here, which is what I would expect again. But again, it's very all black here, and I expect to see a lot of screw holes. You see a screw hole up here and maybe up here. What's this here? Is that a screw hole, or is that something? It looks like something bigger there. You know, maybe. Well, no, that looks like a screw hole there. It would be small. You also see what is maybe a volume control, maybe up there. So you see some other things happening there. I also suggest that they're likely going to put a camera in here, because you've got the Pokemon craze, and this is a mobile unit, so why wouldn't they put a camera and allow you to go, and a GPS and allow you to go out and play, capture Pokemon, whatever with your Pokeballs, right? So that's what I thought about that. Also, my comment on the controller itself was, let me see if I can get to it, the color. Because the color of the controller itself, when he's out and about, the Joy-Con units don't really match the face of the controller. See this, where the Joy-Con units are like a gray, almost looking like a gray, but then you get the shiny kind of tabletness of the glass, basically. You know, I assume it's glass, and there's rumors already that this is indeed touchscreen, multi-touch, 10 multi-touch screen apparently. And so yeah, it makes sense. The Tegra CPU processor itself is apparently a standard tablet processor. So yeah, they're probably gonna the cheapest route here is to take a standard tablet, like a Nexus or whatever, and just build on top of it. Use the screen of kind of an existing technology. Don't reinvent the wheel, but put in the hardware, the CPU and such, and the RAM that you need to make it a game system. So I figured that's kind of what they went here with. But they didn't go with a passive cooling idea because of the vents there. They went with the active cooling fan when it's in its dock. So I think that is interesting, and overall, I love the unit. I think it's going to be a great idea. I really want to try it, obviously, like all of us do. But I'm interested to hear what you guys thought of the video. Did you find any other secrets in the system? Another shot I found on the top. So it looks like there's almost a power button there and a rocker. So I don't actually see a stylus there. There's something here, maybe a microphone. I see a little not jack, but a hole there. And then this is the grate for the fan. And I don't see any wires, oddly, from the dock. So I don't know if they're just hiding them or whether it's completely wireless. Is there another module behind that you plug into HDMI? Or are they just hiding it for aesthetic purposes for nice pictures, but this isn't actually, the in-use scenario. But yeah, where are the wires on it? And another shot of it here, where he's using the Pro Controller, and the switch itself is, again, flat with the TV. Every image is flat with the TV. It's not kind of tucked in behind. It's not sideways, so it disappears. And the top of it is always showing, so I think that indicates that there'll be an IR sensor bar there, like I was mentioning. It also makes it obviously easy to pull it out, like I was saying. But the fact that it's right in the center of the screen, not down on the floor somewhere, and where are the wires to it? you know, it's interesting. Is it a complete wireless unit, and maybe the wires down here are what actually goes to the TV? You know, it's hard to say, but it's interesting that none of their videos show that piece of it. So those are my thoughts, guys. I will leave it there. You can tell me what you think. Do you see any other things in there that might be secrets that other people haven't spoke about? You know, what other things, secrets are they gonna pull out? I think there's a lot of secrets that they have, and I think there's a lot of rumors still to come out. We haven't heard a lot of these things that even I've been talking about, not that I've seen, and on the other videos. So I don't know if other videos caught them or not, but they certainly haven't spoken of them. And I'm sure there's backwards compatibility, so they're gonna build in some of the features of the Wii U, some of the features of the DS. You know, if there's any special features, and they're gonna have ways for these things to occur, so that they can put their old games on the virtual console. Another interesting thing is the friend codes. How is that going to work? No one's really brought that up or discussed, you know, how that's going to work. So it's interesting. And anyways, I will leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think, and we will see you guys in the next video.